I think if Russell Westbrook wants back in Denver, you would be a damn fool not to bring him back. I really do.
That's a great topic that I wish to debate a little bit with you. But first, from the word of Westbrook, this is a daily, sort of like a diary.
Don't do it.
Got a question from a reader, Duke Mendoza, about the best way to craft a strong outfit.
Oh, God.
I think building on your foundation with cool accessories is the best way to elevate a look with a minimal effort. There are no real rules about mixing metals in my book. The easiest place to try it out is with chains and necklaces. If they are bold pieces, allow them to be the statement. If not, try to have them both warm and cool elements throughout your garment so it feels cohesive. Thanks for the question, Duke. You have a chain, right? Let it breathe is what he's saying. Let it breathe.
What about me?
Let your chain breathe.
How's that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't read this unless you subscribe.
I just did.
He just subscribed.
No, I know. I'm trying to read. I can't.
You see everything,
and I'm skeptical out of any subscriptions because then I just get emails I don't want.
Brett makes me look like I should be on GQ. Okay,
you are,
and even
sartorially speaking,
mm-hmm.
You are the worst dressed person I've ever worked with.
See, but
and I mean that.
There's not a
and
that's
and
probably
it's not
true.
And it's not even remotely.
Have you
No,
seen
that's probably
D-Mac
true.
lately?
Oh, that's true.
D-Mac, yeah.
That's true.
When he rides his bike? Ooh, baby.
So D-Mac and Brett,
they're two peas in a pod.
I have no care, though.
I know, but that lack of care is what makes me care about you.
Well, I think that Brett's outfits are actually inspired by Westbrook because anytime Brett tries to dress himself,
it may be a turnover, it may be a missed shot, but it may be a steal, maybe a dunk, maybe a missed three, maybe a made three. It's gonna be all of that.
Never know.
I mean, look at you right now. look at you right now.
That is so correct.
I'm looking at you and I'm saying, look at your collar.
Dude, when you roll out of bed,
collar.
when you roll out of
This
bed,
collar?
it's all jacked up.
It's all jacked up, and you don't even care.
When you roll out of bed and you start opening the drawer and grabbing stuff, that's exactly your daily wardrobe right there.
Yep. Can we go back to Westbrook? And again, I feel strongly about this.
So you think returning is not only going to happen.
If Westbrook wants to opt into his contract, because I think if he wants more money, that's a different discussion.
Sure.
But if he wants to opt back into his contract, which is a vet minimum, and you say no, I think you're a fool.
Well, they can't say no. I mean, they could buy out his contract. That's the only way to say no.
That's
it's
what
his
I'm
option.
saying. That's what I'm saying, though.
Well,
if people would say, I'd rather not, I think that's a foolish thing to do.
There's the rub. If it's the vet minimum, Vic, and fans out there going, nah, I don't think I want that, well, then you're wrong. Because at a vet minimum, you should absolutely want him. He can still play. He provides a factor for you. And let's be honest, you need guys in that rotation.
Well, let's just make this really simple. You need guys that you trust to play, especially coming off the bench. You had virtually nobody that you trusted last year. You've also acknowledged that it's going to be very hard to find people that you trust this year. So one of the guys that you did trust last year, you want to get rid of because he frustrated you sometimes, and then you want to trust the unknown. That seems silly.
Your last point. Vic, and by the way, let's say you didn't trust him. Well, you kind of had to trust him because you had no choice.
He can play. There's no question about that.
I understand he can play, but is there somebody else out there who would be willing to play for the vet minimum or let's say you get out from under the Dario Saric contract, you go get an MLE contract out there, who could play that backup point guard role?
I still keep him. Because what's the harm? Like, this is what I don't get. What's the hurt? Let's say that you do find, in this case, Vic, let's just call it Bruce Brown because it just makes it easier for everybody, okay? You go out and you find Bruce. And you know what? Turns out, Moj, Jalen Pickett got better over the offseason. He's your backup point guard.
Okay.
Why would I still not want Russell on there as a safety valve?
Absolutely.
Why would I not want him to give me 10 minutes a game?
Here's
a reduced role for Westbrook actually sounds a lot better than what he did last year.
Again, Brett, you're making so much sense today. It's not even normal. That's exactly right.
It's his collar right here.
It's your bacon collar.
Mm-hmm.
He's a safety valve that comes cheap, and hopefully you don't have to play him as much as you did. Hopefully you can spot him in different times better than you did this year. That's where he's probably going to be most effective.
Oh,
It
man,
makes
you know what?
sense.
Jamal's out for a month with a hamstring injury.
Perfect.
Jalen Pickett's got to start. Who's our backup now? Well, if you get rid of Russell Westbrook, then what? Trey Alexander? You calling him up from the G League? Or is it nice just to have Russ there just in case?
Yep.
These are decisions that are going to be made, but they're not going to be made single-handedly. There's a sum that you're trying to put together here. I think the bringing back Russell Westbrook, if he chooses to come back, it's his choice. It's going to be part of a bigger package. Like, what are they deciding to do here? What are they deciding to do in this offseason for the team?
Meaning what?
Like, is there another move to be made? Where are they going to try to get better? Are they going to try to get better with a backup big? Are they going to try to get better with another guard? These are decisions that will affect whether or not you want to bring him back.
What it sounds like to me is you're sounding like the Westbrook decision comes at expense of one of those. I'm just saying it costs you literally the least it would cost any player.
But here's something you have to consider. Is he going to be happy with you sound like just give him a reduced role.
Well, he may not be.
That's
Then
what
he
I'm
can
saying.
go. Okay, then
That's
fine.
exactly what I'm
then
saying.
Then he can go.
Would
Fine.
he be happy with a reduced role than the one he already played?
Well, he would have to be, dude. Listen, you have to. This is where you have to have a good temperature of that room. Is he a problem inside the locker room? Have you ever heard that?
I have not heard that. In fact, Aaron Gordon, remember Aaron Gordon?
Shelburne said that.
Remember that? Aaron Gordon went off about that. So I can only tell you what the players say.
Okay, so the players say no. So that being the case, you're going to have a distinct conversation with Russ. Say, listen, you may be in a reduced role if you do come back. I mean, everything's on the table here. Let's be honest. We're all adults here. You're in an aged point in your career.
What
We're in a
does he wanna
situation. Exactly right.
Russell
and
has
so,
already accepted the fact that he's not what he used to be because he's
Absolutely.
been coming off the bench for 3 years.
What does he want to do? Does he value playing time more than he values maybe hanging on to a team that's going to have a chance
to win. And Vic, I can't say this any more clearly than this. If you're going to fill those roles with MLEs or whatever, okay, let's say you get the opportunity to. This is basically, because of the position that you're in, this is needle in a haystack situation.
That's what I'm saying.
Not only that, this is needle in a haystack.
You
and
have to hit
pleasant surprise situation. So you've got to get a little bit lucky here as well.
Because the Nuggets are so handcuffed with their contracts and their payroll. They have to hit home runs on these smaller contracts. They have to. And that's asking a lot. It's asking like, that's unfair. But it's what they have to do. And it's what they did the year they won a championship.
Here's what I would argue, just in the case of Russ specifically. I don't think you could have found more value out of a contract that small from anybody else. I really don't. I think for what he provided you, which was like 25 minutes a night, he was your spot starter if somebody was hurt. He was your spark plug when you needed something. I know the bad that came with Russ. We know the roller coaster. But you tell me, what was his contract? 2-point-some million dollars?
No, it's just over $3 million, and I think he's due close to $4 million this upcoming season.
I don't know how many guys you would find for that price that could have done what Russ did.
It's not about what he's done. It's about what do you want your team to be.
No, I get that. I'm just saying in general last year.
What's so funny?
Yeah, what is funny?
Sorry. Every time somebody says spark plug, all I can hear is Ted saying to Pat Healy something about Mary. I thought you said she was the real spark plug. No, I said.
Yeah, the other thing.
And the way he delivers that line, anybody who's seen the movie knows exactly what I'm talking about. It makes me laugh and I can't stop. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I know you don't, because that's why you're not laughing, because you're dumb. For those who know what I'm talking, Twitchers, just put it up there.
Just shut up.
Nope, not going to do it. And you haven't used your
But
stoppage yet.
he was all of that last year. Now you're right. Do you want to move forward that this year? I don't know. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. All I'm saying is I don't think you want Russell back to be a guy who played the same role he did this last year. I think that's too much.
Okay,
it's too much Russ.
Let me answer your question with this. That's a question for David Adelman. David, do you have bigger ambitions for Jalen Pickett? If the answer is yes, then Russell Westbrook doesn't fit in.